Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome. We're just going to take a moment to let everyone who would like to join us get into the room, get settled. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Just give it another few moments. Welcome, everyone, to Intentional Conversations VodCast. We are so grateful for your presence and humbled that you're spending your valuable time with us. We know there are so many places where you could be today. Welcome. My name is Cosette Strong. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I serve as the Senior Director of DEI Strategy and Design here at NWC. I'm filling in for Dr. Nika White, my friend, my shero, our founder, and lead principal consultant. I'll do my very best to make her proud as I host and facilitate in her stead today. You have joined the Intentional Conversations VodCast, where we intersect discussions regarding diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging with leadership and business. If you feel comfortable, please take to the chat, as I see some of you already are, and let us know where you're located today. Personally, I'm coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. Our guest co-host and I were talking about how yesterday it was almost 70 degrees here today. I found that really strange. Today it's about 40. But I enjoy knowing that even though we may literally be across the country from each other, we can convene in this space together from wherever we sit. So please feel free to turn your cameras on and make this room feel more close-knit, like a community. But if you don't want to turn your camera on, that's fine as well. And if you would like, in the chat, as well as sharing where you're coming from, feel free also to share something else about yourself. Maybe the organization where you're coming from, maybe even share your LinkedIn profile so we can stay connected after we leave this time. So grateful to be here with you today. So let's get to it. Sit back, relax. Let's get ready for Intentional Conversations VodCast. Yes, let's let the conversation begin. I love that intro. Welcome again. For those of you just joining us, my name is Cosette Strong. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I serve as the Senior Director of DEI Strategy and Design here at NWC. This VodCast is supported by an incredible, amazing team of purpose-driven, passionate professionals. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge our team present with us today and their hard work every week to curate this experience for this dynamic community. I am so grateful to be in this space and part of this amazing team. So guess what, you all? It is Black History Month. 1 second. Here we go. And we celebrate Black History Experience all year long here at NWC, but it is February, and I want to mention that when Black History Month first started, it actually started as Negro History Week. And about 50 years later, it expanded to the month-long experience that we know today. Black people have accomplished so much, including inventing the super soaker, peanut butter, the home security system, the potato chip, the traffic light, things that make our life more convenient and fun and delicious. Potato chips and peanut butter, right? I'm also excited to announce that Inclusion Uncomplicated, the newest book from Dr. Nika White in partnership with Forbes Books, has been released. January 31st was the pub date, and it's available to order. So head to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever you get your books, and get your copy now. I'm so excited that I just got mine. We celebrated the release of Inclusion Uncomplicated with a virtual book launch last week. And if you were unable to join us, feel free to go to our website and catch the replay. And also more news about the book. In April, you will have the opportunity to join us for Unraveling Inclusion Uncomplicated, featuring Dr. White. I will join Nika for this live learning experience and discussion with her, where we will address key takeaways from the book, discuss next steps in your diversity, equity, and inclusion learning journey, and how to actualize some of the strategies shared. You will not want to miss this one-time only experience featuring Dr. White. I also want to let you know that we have some dynamic guest co-hosts coming up. Next week, join us for Intentional Conversations VodCast when we welcome Erica Shaw. We'll discuss what multicultural talent needs to thrive in the workplace, not just survive. We'll talk about inclusive leadership, and we will talk about Erica's focus on coaching women to their full potential. That'll be a really great conversation, so tune in and join us. And the week after that, we will chat with Melinda Brianna Epler. We'll talk about empathy, which I personally think is a non-negotiable leadership competency. We'll talk about how to show empathy. We'll talk about why it's an essential part of being an actionable ally. And we'll also talk about how empathy and trust are interconnected. Mark your calendars for that one too. All right, finally, I am so excited to welcome today's co-host, Monique Gibson. As is our custom, I will read Monique's bio and then I will ask her to unmute and greet us personally in her own way. And I am hoping, I see VodCast community, that you will take to the chat, give us those emojis, give us those hands, those snaps for Monique, and welcome her in the way that she deserves. All right, Monique. Monique is the CEO and founder of JMCO Consulting, a boutique business consulting firm. JMCO Consulting is a small minority woman veteran and Texas Hub certified business. Monique is an attorney and a prior legal HR executive with more than 17 years of global corporate experience across various industries. Monique specializes in talent strategies and structuring productive workspaces. Can't wait to get into this. She is an Army veteran who served in Germany and on special assignment at the Pentagon. She currently resides in Dallas, Texas with her family. Welcome, Monique. I'm so happy that you are here.
Yes, I am honored, truly honored to be asked to be a co-host. I'm super excited to get into the conversation.
Good. Okay, so one of the things that we do is, I've read your bio. I would love for you to share with this audience maybe something that isn't in your bio, something else that you would like us to know about you.
So after you read the bio, you go, really, she only looks like she's 25. How could it be? So I have a huge passion for youth sports. I played basketball in high school. I played a little bit while I was in the Army, and I was a girls coach for 6 years. I coached my daughter. I'm super passionate about girls in athletics. So that's something that a lot of people who, on social media don't know as much about me, but if you know me in person,
yeah,
I mean, I love kids and I love kids playing sports. It doesn't matter if they're any good or not, but I just think it builds confidence and just so much, especially in young girls.
I love to hear that. Where does that come from? Where does that passion come from? Can you identify maybe in your growing up or something where that comes from?
So you can't tell, you can kind of tell how long my neck is. So I'm tall. So, growing up, people were always like, you're so tall. So, and I loved basketball and I was pretty decent at it. So, and I love competition. So I thrived. I thrived in the military. So I love competition. And then when I got out and I had kids and, my daughter started playing and I don't know. I saw at the beginning of the season, the girls would come in and not have confidence and, be a little insecure. And then by the end of the season, okay, if you're tall, you're taller. If you're short, you're quicker. Like everybody has a strength. So it really allowed me to kind of bring out what I did professionally, which is coaching, but to infuse that into young girls. And by the end of the season, they're falling on the floor. And so I love it. I love building kids. I love building people.
I love to hear that. So you said you have a lot of experience with global and military. Can you tell us about that and how has it been to transition from that to being an entrepreneur?
So one thing about me is I'm very transparent. Like I don't like candy coating thing because I just think that doesn't give people like a real insight into what people's experiences are. So for me, the transition from military back into a corporate environment was very tough. And quite honestly, I don't know that I ever successfully did it, because in the military, like you were just thrown into a situation, like figure it out. You're like, got it. And I thrived in that. I was never asked, well, can you do it? Well, is it too hard? Or let me make sure you know, step one, step two, step. And so I love that. I love being given the responsibility to solve problems and then being able to go to my commander and go, sir or ma'am, you know, it's done. They're like, whoo, this young lady, like and I thrived in that environment. And then to go from that into an environment where I was being told not only what the task was, but how to do it. And that was kind of a struggle for me. Cause I'm like, well, but you hired me for my expertise. Why? I don't need you to tell me step one, step two, step three. And then just the aspect of teamwork. So in the military, it doesn't matter because that if I like you or not, I've got your back because I have to. So yeah, that mindset, again, transitioning in corporate, teamwork in a corporate environment is not the same as military because it was hard for me for a coworker to throw me under the bus in front of a meeting, you know, and I would go, wait a minute, we have to work. And then I saw like, that's what people did. And it was tough. It was tough for me. It really was. So it was a challenge.
Wow, I can see that. I can see that. And I can see how you can make the leap from having those experiences and thinking, all right, I want to become an entrepreneur. I want to do this differently. Can you tell me about maybe some of the challenges that you experienced going from one type of environment to another?
Yeah, so the second major transition was from corporate environment to being an entrepreneur. Not the same as being in corporate or being in the military. So I didn't realize how much I had to learn and do that was outside of my expertise. I never had to sell myself because people already knew, like, oh, you know, after hours, Monique, everybody's always in her office. Like, you know, she's a good ear to listen and give ideas. So that was the part I just didn't know. There was so much sales and marketing and this and that. And, you know, and then just that concept of, you know, if someone tells you, oh, you know, I'm interested, they may or may not follow up with you and they may really not be interested. So, and you can't take that personal. So there was a lot of learning and then getting to the point where I had to stop learning because I find like a lot of Black women and women in general, we want to know everything. Like we want to know point 1 through 100. And it's like, no. At some point, you know enough. It's okay. At some point, you just have to jump out there and then you'll remember like, oh, okay, I have to stroke. I might go down a little bit, bloop, 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 I might drown. But you know enough to go ahead and move forward. And then there's where I see the gap. I see the gap for women entrepreneurs being access to those potential clients because we have the resources of how to start a business, how to build a business, the marketing, the sales, the how to build a website, but that how do I get a client?
That is so fascinating. I love what you said there. And I see people are loving it in the chat as well. One of the things that I recently read is that Black women are, you know, joining entrepreneurship and creating new businesses faster than any other demographic group. Why do you think that is?
So this is just my opinion. I throughout my entire career, time after time after time, I saw how just women in general, Black women, women of every color were treated when they spoke up during a meeting. Oh, hey, I know how to do that. Or, hey, have you ever thought about doing this? Or hey, I have an idea. It was kind of like, how dare you? And you're like, yeah, but she's the smartest thing in the room. Like, what are we doing here? And then it felt like others were easily intimidated by that. Like, I can't let her light shine because I feel like that dims my light. And if you're confident, your light doesn't get dimmed. It's just my light might be orangish green. Your light might be purplish red. Like I never, again, that concept coming from the military where I was praised for being able to get stuff done. I don't get it, but I feel like a lot of that is steeped in intimidation. And then you have these highly educated, super duper competent women who aren't valued or welcomed or praised in these
Right.
corporate environments.
Yeah.
So you're like, forget it. I'll just go, hang out my own shingle.
Yeah. Yes. And I think community is such a big part of that. And you talked about that a little bit, where you kind of talked about personal brand a little bit too. Everyone knew that, at the end of the day, people were gathered in your office. You're very relational. Even, before we kind of started this, I could tell you're very relational. It's a superpower of yours. And so why do you think when we talk about community and relationships, why do you think that that's an essential part of, development, Black women creating that community for themselves? How have you found that to be an essential part of your life and your role and success as an entrepreneur?
I think, again, I can only speak for myself. I was always so misunderstood. There were always so many assumptions made about me and my character that I stayed confused, because I thought everybody here knows I've got your back. I don't care if you just threw me under the bus in the meeting. I've got your back.
Yeah.
So now I have the opportunity to say, no, this is who I am. Like, this is who I am. I'm not angry, because
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times people, oh, I could tell you were angry in the meeting.
Yeah.
And I would think to myself, like, no, because if I was angry, like, you would
No,
know it.
you would know.
And
That's right.
I grew up in an environment where I would never disrespect my family. I would never disrespect my mama. I would never go anywhere and show my tail, as she would say. I would never be that angry at, not to say this not bubbling inside of me.
Right.
But I would never display it. But, and we seem angry. I was angry just because I pointed out that, you all missed a step.
Yeah.
So, I just, it hurt. It really did. It hurt to be so, and I'm like, my heart, like I'm the most ride or die chick you'll ever meet. Like, it would hurt. And I'm like, I'm not that person. And so now I have the confidence and the freedom to be who I am. I know I'm a lot. Like, I know I have a strong personality, but that's nothing to be intimidated or threatened by, because look at the value in that.
Right.
If we're working together, stuff's gonna get done.
Yeah.
I know how to talk to people. I know how to treat people. Like, that empathy, that sympathy, that caring. I care.
Yeah.
So just having the opportunity to be who I really am has just been such a blessing for me.
I love that. I felt my heart kind of, pinch a little bit when you talked about, being misunderstood and how that hurt, and I feel like, myself included, I have had situations where, I've tried to express myself in an authentic way, and it's just not working. It's not working. I'm very misunderstood. And, you kind of leave that experience feeling hurt, and so I really felt that when you were talking about it. As you think about the way that you have gone about in your authentic way, building relationships and networking, is that something that you talk with people about? How do you, help them and talk with others about making the most of networking and communicating that it is a critical part of success?
Networking is hard. It is hard. It is hard, especially coming from a corporate environment, because again, I never had to network, because I was always invited to be on these panels in New York and Puerto Rico. I never had to go sell myself. People would just find me. So networking is hard, because if you're not a naturally outgoing person, then it's challenging and it's so unfair. But as an entrepreneur, like, you have to talk to people. And for me, at first, I didn't know how to do it, because I was so, accustomed to being in that corporate mode. Like, yes, my name is Monique. And I'm naturally extremely silly. Like, I was class clown, least likely to succeed in high school. Like, that's who I really am. Again, love sports. I love to play around. I love to work hard. I'm extremely competitive. So, the train just fell off that track. I'm sorry. I was just thinking. Yeah, just being hurt and yeah. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, thank you. You said you never really had to do that before. And so learning how to do that, I guess, with your natural self, and you said, I'm kind of silly, like this is me. And what I'm getting from what you're saying, and tell me if I'm picking up the wrong thing, is that in that corporate environment, you bringing your authentic self was not maybe welcomed or wanted.
So I never subscribed to that being your authentic self in a corporate environment. Because again, when I was in corporate, I started hearing that the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. Oh, bring your authentic self.
Yeah.
I wasn't accepted when I was trying to be what I felt they wanted me to be.
Okay.
So I was like, if they just see that little bit of me and it's a problem, imagine if I brought the whole me.
Right.
That is a problem, because I knew that I had to speak a certain way. I had to be careful of my body language because I'm a thinker. So I would always go, oh, I'm thinking. And people go, you're so mean. And I'll go, what? What? Like I was thinking, I was told that I walk too hard.
What?
Okay, I can't, I'm tall. Like I got on 4-inch heels. Like what? I can't help it. There was always such criticisms about me as a person.
Yeah.
And so to be traumatized by that, and then now you're an entrepreneur and you're like, okay, well, I don't know. Should I talk up? Should I speak up? Should I not? Should I just go like this and not blink so people don't think I'm mad, or because I don't want to, and then people go, you look crazy when you bubble your eyes like that, and
yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard, but again, as an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to do that. And for me, I just went back to my natural self. So now I'll go up to people. I want to know about you. So hey, Cosette, like tell me a little bit about you. It's not about me selling like, hi, Monique Gibson, JMCO consult. Like, I don't do that because I genuinely want to get to know you as a person. There may be potential there for business later. There may be not, but I genuinely want to get to know you as a person.
Yeah. I love that. I love that altruistic relationship building. I genuinely just want to get to know you. If there is an opportunity, amazing. That's great.
Yes.
And if not, human to human, this connection is what I want to prioritize. And when we think about being able to be your authentic self, and when we think about how safe and comfortable we can feel in environments when we're able to do that, and how that aligns with wellness, right? Wellness right now is such a hot topic. And while it's a hot topic, it is a serious concern for those of us who are Black women. And so I'd love to hear you share a little bit about, why are people prioritizing their wellness and making these decisions and saying, you know what, this is more important. I'm leaving corporate America because I can't prioritize my wellness and be in this space. So I'm going to find a different space. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, and I wish I had a sweet candy coated answer, but the reason is because we're dying. We're dying. Like dead under the ground. We're dying because of the stress, and stress causes so many other internal issues. You have stomach problems. I used to get migraines. I had a chunk of hair fall because I was so stressed and tense. And you know what? I'm going to work harder. So instead of 50 hours a week, I'm going to work 60 hours because I one day they'll see that I'm valuable. And then, that meant I turned my back on my family. Because I was so focused on what I thought they wanted me to be.
Right.
So having that level of stress and going into a meeting and going, okay, I can't blink, I can't look, I can't breathe. I was told I breathe too much too. And I'm not kidding. Like if I just went, oh, I could tell you were irritated. Like, no, I was breathing because I kind of have to do that as a human.
Oxygen.
But I mean, I need oxygen too. But that I always was walking on glass shells, and that is traumatic. That's traumatic. And it causes all kinds of conditions. And I used to do executive coaching for women, and there was group coaching, and I was floored. I always thought it was just me.
Yeah.
I was floored by how many women were like, me too, yep, me too. There's a Black female attorney. She was like, yeah, I used to sleep at my desk. at work because they would come and like plant stuff in my office. And I'm like, girl, now you're being silly. She's like, no, I'm serious. What? So yes, now that's why women are going, you know what? I want to be here for my kids. I don't want to be in a mental institution because I've had so much stress, or I don't want to be in the hospital or on all these medications because I want to enjoy my life.
Yes.
I worked hard.
Yes.
You know, TD Jake says that, Black women have more degrees than a thermometer. We do. Like, I worked hard for those degrees. I worked very hard for that because I had a part-time job because I had to pay my own way through school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I worked hard to be in that space. I deserve to be in that space. I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
But just battling that, it was hard. It was so hard. And it was literally painful, emotionally, physically, mentally. I mean, when I left, my mom was in tears. She goes, baby, she's like, you just added 10 years to your life because I saw you. She said you were going to end up dead in a mental institution or in jail.
Yeah.
I have crazy stories. Yeah, I have crazy stories. People wanting to fight me, executives, because they know I'm ex-military, like trying to get me crazy stuff, just crazy stuff. So yeah, that's why Black women are leaving corporate spaces because of that kind of trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. That is, there's so much in what you just said. And I appreciate that you did not sugarcoat anything. Black women are dying. Black women are dying. And I felt that. I feel that. I have felt that in my own life and my own experience with corporate America, which is one of the things that compelled me to step out of a corporate space. I also appreciate how you talked about, coaching women. And I think you said, you used to, but when you talked with women and just for them to hear your story, for you to share and talk about your experience, for someone else to hear you and think, oh, wow, I thought it was just me. The fact that it's not just me, it's not right, but gives me a sense of validation, makes me feel so much better. Allyship, I have an ally. I have a person who I can talk to and they can relate to my experience. When I think about how essential allyship is to helping support women when they decide to take that leap, because it is a leap to leave a corporate space and jump into entrepreneurship and find these income generating opportunities. Can you talk a little bit about how you providing that allyship, that coaching, that mentorship, that support, how that has, how you feel like that has impacted others who have, taken the leap to follow the path that's best for them?
It's powerful. It's powerful when you find other people who have experienced what you've experienced, and you said it, validation. Then you don't feel like, oh, it's me. There's something I'm doing wrong. I don't know what it is. And then to hear I'm talking about highly PhDs from Harvard, attorneys from Georgetown, chemists, PhD. I mean, women who just the same experiences, and you're like, whoo, there's some sort of release in knowing that it's not just you.
Right.
And then that healing together, because we're strong. No, I'm not. I have emotions too. I hurt too. I just can't show it. But being able to break all that toughness down and show that, yes, I'm an emotional being. That's how God created me. I hurt. I have feelings too.
Right.
And to walk through that healing process with other women was so powerful, so powerful. I can't even express without getting emotional. Powerful. And before, I never would have showed any emotions. I didn't show any emotions at my wedding because I always felt like I can't show emotions. I can't, and that's hard. Like I can't show emotions because I'm tough. I'm tough. But that toughness was probably slowly killing me on the inside. So yeah, I mean, it was life-changing. It really, really was, and the healing was just, I mean, there are a lot of tears that women have been holding for 30, 40, 50 years, to release that and then rebuild. Oh my God, it was beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. Yeah.
How do you incorporate wellness into your day-to-day practice? How do you maintain what kind of started, when you took that leap, and how do you encourage others to do the same?
We put everybody else first before ourselves, our families, our kids, our jobs. And then when we're gone, like that's it. Like there is no do-over. So for me, I am now much more conscious of not allowing negativity in my space. If you got negative energy or everything you say is negative or you want to gossip, you can't be in my world. I do not allow it. Whereas before, you would just kind of listen and go, okay, yeah. No. Now, healing is something different. Now, if you're in the healing process, I'm gonna be your biggest advocate, your biggest rah-rah coach, like, you got this, girl. You can do this, girl, because we all fall. But just protecting me, protecting my emotional space. If I feel like I'm getting a little too stressed or something, I go, okay, well, I just go for a walk. Whereas before, I worked 20 hours a day because I worked for global companies. I had to be available on whatever time it was in China.
Time zones.
Okay.
Right.
Never got any sleep. If the phone rang, I was like, oh, hello, I'm here. Like, not anymore, baby. No, I take care of me because my kids and my husband and my parents need me to be mentally well, physically well, and emotionally well. Like they need me, because when mama ain't happy, because I'm in Texas now, I'm not from Texas, ain't nobody happy.
Right.
And it impacts the whole household, whole household. My whole household has changed. I'm telling you, it's powerful. And that's the way we were meant to live. We're not meant to be all, your kids are going, mommy, you go, no, not right now. I got to work. No, absolutely not.
That is, so many women need to hear that. So many women need to hear that. We cannot be our best selves without taking care of ourselves. And we as women, those of us who want to advance at work, we want to be seen as leaders. We want to have those opportunities to show the value that we can bring and contribute in that way. That is an essential component of it, taking care of ourselves and prioritizing our well-being. And how do you, when you talk with others, when you work with others, how do you train Black women specifically to be adequate leaders? How do you tell them this is an essential component of you being the leader that you want to be? How do you train them? What do you say?
That I just thought of Shrek when he said, "Oh, you're an onion." He goes, "No, you're a parfait." Like, there's so many layers to that. Because when you're in a space where you can't grow, you're suffocated. There's nothing you can do to succeed. But when you're given the opportunity, Black women make phenomenal leaders. In my experience, I mean, I haven't worked with a lot of them, but we've been through so much, I think. And again, I'm speaking in generalities, but and I'm naturally a very empathetic person. And I think I said that before. I care about you. If you're hurting, I care. Let's work through it together. Let's talk. You're an adult. And I think in my experience in workplaces, people who were managers of others abused that authority. I'm a manager of you to manage your work so that we can meet our goals, not to judge you as a person, not to take out my frustrations on you because I got something going on at home, because because I'm the manager. And I just saw that ugliness. I thought, you're not anyone's mother or father, or their priest or their nun. You're their manager. So I think just women have like that naturally caring, and not all women, again, I'm making generalities, but we just have that naturally caring and like, let's get it done. And I'm honest, I'm gonna say, Cosette, girl, you slipping, what's going on? I'm gonna tell you, let's talk about it. Not only that, but I'm going to mentor you. I'm not gonna say, hey, Cosette, I need you to go lay some flooring. And you're like, I've never done that before. Well, girl, you better figure it out. I'm gonna go, hey, I'm gonna show you how it's done. If you have any questions along the way, girl, I'm there for you. So I'm developing you. I'm developing you. You have something to look forward to so that you can grow. That's the definition of the leader, AKA disciples, is that when you're a disciple, you develop other disciples, not crush the hopes and dreams of everybody you lead.
Right. Right. Wow. Wow. That is, okay. There's so much in what you just said. And I'm seeing the chat blow up. I know, y'all, I know that there are going to be some great questions for Monique. I cannot hog her, but I do have a couple more. But yes, put your questions in the chat because you will have your chance. I want you to tell me, Monique, about your podcast, Black Coffee with a Side of Candor. That sounds amazing.
Yes,
I want to listen. What am I going to learn?
So it's more so just an opportunity for us to listen to Black women entrepreneurs, like their experience. How did they get from here to there? What have they learned? And then what can people who are listening in learn from their experiences? Because that's what life is all about, is learning, number one, and then we can learn from the experiences of others so we don't have to go through it. And also allowing those Black women to highlight their businesses. So we've had a few Black men on, but again, it's just about giving the tips and tricks to Black women entrepreneurs so that they can experience the success that they deserve. I mean, because, you know, we've worked hard. And when I tell you, we get some sisters on there, we tease that we need an oxygen tank to like read through the bio. I mean, really, I get so like, oh my God, like this is one bad mamma jamma. Like, you know, just cancer researchers, you know, IT developer. I mean, just massive. I mean, these women are out there, and then giving them in our little way, as powerful as it can and will be, is just to say, hey, world, look at what this sister's doing over here. Isn't that awesome?
Wow. What has been your favorite, one of your favorite guests? Like one is one of the most notable guests where you just remember some of that conversation?
You know what? They're all so powerful, but there was one specific guest who, I mean, super duper accomplished attorney. I mean, she's worked for some of the biggest companies in the world. And she, you know, as Dave Chappelle used to say, she kept it real. I mean, she was really honest about her experiences, and she was put into a leadership position. And when she walked into the office, like she was totally disrespected by the staff. And, you know, she didn't candy coat anything. She didn't sugarcoat, you know, and that's what I love, because again, you're not the only one who's experienced that. But when I hear somebody else who's experienced the same thing, I go, okay, so it is a thing. It wasn't just a thing. And it's not my problem. That's a them problem. If you have a problem with my shine, hey, baby, that's your problem, not mine. Right. You deal with that, because you're not going to transfer that on me.
That's right.
Period.
That's right. That is, I love that you just said that. For a lot of us, for a lot of women, that is so hard to take in and adopt. I read a quote, and I can't remember when I read it, but it said, I'm not intimidating, you are intimidated.
Yes.
And once I read that, because I cannot think of a woman of color in my circle who has not been told that she is intimidating, right? Mm-hmm. And so adopting that posture and thinking, no, like you said, this is not a me problem. This does not reside here in this space. That is a you problem. I like to say that, you know, that is garbage in your yard, neighbor. Mm-hmm. That's that. Don't throw that garbage over the fence into my yard. No. Right. And so you saying that is so powerful. There's so many people who need to hear that, and not just hear it, but really internalize that. Take that in and stop apologizing and adopting an apologetic posture for showing up and shining and contributing to this world in the way that we were created to, right?
Yes. And remember, I told you I'm a true competitor.
Yes.
If you're a true competitor, give me a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Level the playing field. We'll see who's the best. Don't go over there and shut all the doors so I can't play.
Right.
If you are truly as great as you think you are, have at it. Let's go, baby. I'm ready. And that's what I would love to see. I would love to see these companies say, you know what? All these Black women out here complaining they don't get these opportunities. We're just going to give it to them and support them. I'm not saying
Yes.
throw us at the bottom of the sea and then go, oh, you drown.
That's right.
So support Black women like you do everybody else, the development, the attitudes. If they say something, respect it, professionalism, all of that.
Yeah.
And we'll see. Like, let's stop playing games. Like,
yes, that part. Yes, Takia, I see it in the chat. That part. Hire us, then watch what happens. Yes. Let us show you what we can do. Oh, I love that. I'm getting fired up, y'all. I'm getting fired up. Okay. So I have a question, Monique. Yes, Dr. Nika, 2 snaps. Yes. So here's what I'm wondering, because there are so many resources out there. There are so many podcasts. There's so many videos. There are so many articles. There's so much content. And I am a person, and I know this audience, I know there are a lot of us who invest in our own education in this way. Why is it so important for us to use these resources, especially like podcasts, your podcast, for instance, for strength and insights, to stay, up to date on current business trends? Like, why should we do that? Why should we leverage our time in that way?
Because this is the cold, hard truth of the matter, y'all. If we don't support each other, like, we have to. I'm super passionate about that. And my husband, it bothers me because if we're out, we see a sister. I always have a compliment for a sister. Hey, girl, I like those boots. Hey, girl, I like your hair. Always.
That's
my
right.
husband's like, no, like, what you doing? I'm like, oh, I will always highlight it. Now, some might give me attitude. That's okay, because I know it's not me. Yeah. It's something maybe she might be dealing with, but I will always support her, always. In a room, oh, hey, sis, what do you think? Yeah. Again, that's the purpose of our podcast, to highlight these sisters, go, hey, girl, let your shine just shine through the podcast. And it does. I mean, we have to utilize the resources, and we also need others. We need everybody. We need people to hold those doors of opportunity open for, like, the companies give us a chance. Give these small Black women-owned businesses a chance, because you have the opportunities. Yeah, and they're given to these huge companies. Give small Black women-owned businesses a chance. Right. A real chance. Like, just leave the door open. I'm not asking for a handout. None of us need a handout, because we got degrees, like I said, up the wazoo. Yeah. I'm just saying, invite me to the race and give me a baton, and let me run and see how I do. Yeah. So that's what I'd really like to see more of. There are so many resources and opportunities, again, about how to build your business. I'd really love for allies, people who believe in our experiences, who say, you know what, I'm gonna do everything I can to give real opportunities. Yeah. The Black women-owned businesses. Yes. That is so important. Opening doors for other people, welcoming them to walk through, like, come through, come in here. I want to see your contribution. I want to give you this seat at the table. Yes, you belong here. That messaging is so important. And when you talked about, not only, investing in our own education, it's also so important for us to find and identify thought leaders and experts in your industry, so you can learn from them and elevate your game. And so what would you say about that? How do you find people to follow, people to listen to, people to learn from? Why is it important for us to align in thought in that way, so that we can elevate ourselves? Ooh, that's a tough question. Because social media is so deceptive and can be so toxic. So I think you just have to be very purposeful. And I'm an in-person person, because I can pick up, I don't know what it is, I pick up stuff. Like, if you walk in and I can tell you just an ugly, evil person, like, my spirit's like, nope, I'll be respectful. My mama always taught me to be respectful, but I need to see you in person. I need to see your eyes. I need to see how you communicate. Yeah, that's important. I think, you just touched on something. You touched on, energy and emotional intelligence. I think that there's such value in not only kind of harnessing your natural emotional intelligence, but also growing it, and developing it. I think that that is a little bit of a misconception. Sometimes people think, well, I just don't have it.
I just don't have emotional intelligence. No, grow it, right? Grow it the way that you would grow anything else. And it's so important when you are, in person with people, that in-person connection, to be able to say, yes, I can relate to you. I can feel your energy. There is a commonality we have. There's a bond here, and it just natural. It just feels like it should be. I really appreciate being in spaces with people where I feel that synergy and that connection. All right, everyone, we're getting to the point where I have one more question that I really want to ask, but I want to see your questions. I don't want anybody calling me selfish, saying that I hog Monique. All right, I do have one more question for you though. So when we think about Black women, especially leaving corporate spaces, starting their own organizations, leaping toward entrepreneurship, is there a best time to do it? I've read so many articles out there that say the best time is this time, the best time is this time. Is there though? What do you think?
I don't think that there'll ever be a best time, because it's tough. You don't hunt, you don't eat. That's the fact of the matter. You're not getting a check every 2 weeks. And that was the hardest thing for, when you're accustomed to getting that check every 2 weeks, then you're kind of like, yeah. But entrepreneurship's different. I mean, you gotta hunt. If not, if you don't hunt, you don't eat that week. So, I mean, you just have to, another part of that is if you're at the point where you're getting ready to have a breakdown, whether that's mental, emotional, physical, you can't wait for that special time, because you're too valuable. So everybody, you're too valuable. That job is not worth it. Even if you don't feel like anybody cares about you, if nobody, I care about you, and I don't even have to know you. So you are valuable. So I was just on a call with a woman the other day, and she was like, oh, they're killing. I was up to 2 o'clock in the morning doing that. And I'm like, girl, they are killing you. And she just, but I gotta. And I thought, look, if you don't get out when you can, like a burning building, if you don't get out and you smell the smoke, you might not see it yet, because we know, like, something doesn't feel right. They're coming after me. You'll start to smell that smoke. If you sit up there and go, no, I'm not leaving, you're going to get burned down in the building, period. So I don't think there is a great time. If you can save up money, a nice little nest egg, because it takes money to be successful in entrepreneurship. And again, it's not easy. Do that. But I would say, like, know thyself. Be honest with yourself. If you're having headaches and all these health problems and you're still trying to hang in there, girl, no.
It sounds like, as you are talking to me about these conversations that you have with women. I agree with you. I don't think that there is a best time, right? Because everyone is different. And my journey is not your journey, is not their journey, whatever. So everyone is different. But I do wonder if I was a person talking with you and I was like on the fence, like I could go either way. I'm this close to taking the leap and jumping and becoming an entrepreneur. I'm this close. What would you say to me?
I would ask, what's your home life? Because that's important. Do you have that support? Because if you have a significant other and they're like, no, we need that check every 2 weeks, then that's going to cause dissension in your home. So that's part of it. Again, the other part of it is, okay, how long can you survive without any money coming in? So if you're single, if you have a significant other, do they make enough for you to cover the bills? Because that is a very real, I mean, there aren't too many businesses just off the bat, first 3, 4, 5, 6 months, they're making, $200,000. And it is hard work. Because it's your baby now. You got to take care of it. If the baby cries, guess what? You have to change those diapers. You have to take care of it. And it is extremely time consuming. So make sure you have the time. Make sure you have the support. If you have a little nest egg, great. You got to have a plan. I would never advise anybody to just jump into the water without first looking overboard to see, are there any rocks in there? Are there any fans coming my way? Are there any sharks? Have a plan. Have a plan. Because again, you're on your own. You become your own hunter.
Yeah, that's real. That's so important. And when you think about, earlier we were talking about, I see this in the chat, when we talk about mentorship and when we talk about community and when we talk about being there for each other, that ride or die, like you were talking about, why is surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals and individuals who are going to uplift you and encourage you and empower you, why is that a key component of success? And how do you talk to people about that? Is that one of the things that you say, hey, if you're thinking about doing this, not only get your nest egg together and figure out, how long you can survive without money, but get your people, like call your people. Like, how do you encourage people around that?
That is so important. And I would say think outside of your immediate community, because this is my thing. You ain't got to like me, but if I can learn from you,
Yeah.
hey, like teach me everything you know, because I'm a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. I don't want somebody who's already burnt out because she's working 80 hours a week. Yeah, she might be the chief legal officer, whatever, but I can't access her brain because her brain's already like over. I want somebody who can teach me something. I think Obama would say, you surround yourself with people who are smarter than you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and again, that's where allyship is huge.
Yep.
Like Mr. Bill, like teach me everything you know. Take me under your wing.
Yeah.
Show me the ropes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say, find those people who have accomplished something that is relevant to what you want to do. And seek them out. And there are a lot of good people. There are a lot of white men that I am, and senior white women that will mentor others. There are a lot of good people out there. I know it doesn't feel like it. On social media, everything is going on in the world, but there are people out there who want to teach others everything they know. So I would say you have to keep, I have yet to find my mentor. So I'm still kind of just hobbling out there. But I mean, I believe I'm a faith woman. I believe that God will put the right person in my path when the time is right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Have you ever, because I've heard of people doing this, leveraged social media, LinkedIn, and just kind of connected with a person that you don't know. Maybe you found someone on LinkedIn who does something, you want to learn from them. Like you said, have you ever done that where you just send them a message like, hey, can we have some coffee? I'd love to learn about what you do. Can we connect over Zoom? I'd love to have a chat with you about your expertise. Have you ever done that?
I've done that multiple times. And if they're in this area, then I'll meet to have coffee. But I've learned again that with senior women, who I have a great deal of respect for, a lot of times there's so much on their plate that they really don't have the bandwidth to really share with me. And I understand and respect that. I don't take it personal. But yes, I do. I reach out a lot. And I've had, and I saw a post about this recently, the scamming and stuff is getting horrible, so just be careful who you try to connect with. Look at their previous posts and conversations and things like that. If they haven't posted in 3 years, then beware. But there are people out there. I just think they're diamonds in the rough. It's a challenge to find them. But I think doing things like this podcast, there may be people on here that go, you know what? I know Sam over so-and-so, he'd be willing to do it. If you're willing to learn, he'll show you everything he knows. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think, we were talking about networking earlier. I think that is such a valuable tool, not only, reaching out to people like we were talking about, but asking trusted members of your community, hey, I am looking to learn more about this, or I'm looking to connect with people who have this expertise. Is there someone in your network that you could introduce me to? I have some friends who I call them connectors, capital C connectors, because this is their superpower. This is what they are good at. They are constantly saying, oh, you know what? I remember you mentioning something about wanting to learn about this. You should meet so-and-so. I'm going to facilitate an introduction via email. And then next thing you know, you have added someone to your network and you found someone that you can learn from, like you said, and connect with on a regular basis. I think that's
Yeah.
I think that's so important to really look at the people in your community and ask them to assist you. And yes, Maurizio said it in the chat, be that bridge. Be that bridge, because
Yeah.
we do have to help each other. We do have to lift each other up. That is part of, being an ally. That is part of being a supporter. That is part of just giving back and elevating the human connection, which I personally believe that we are wired to be connected to each other as
Yeah.
humans. I mean, I think that it's part of our makeup. So, okay. Anyone have another question? I have been asking all these questions that I see coming up in the chat, and I want to make sure that we are not leaving anyone out. This conversation has been so wonderful, and I don't want to leave anyone out. Okay, Terry said something in the chat about, not only will I connect, but I want to be connected, and put something in the chat about about connecting with others. I think it's so valuable. I am curious to know from you, Monique, as you think about what's next for you. You said, I'm still looking for a mentor. You've dropped rich nuggets about the things that you're involved in, the things that you're passionate about. What is on the horizon for you? How can we find you? How can we stay connected? What are you getting into?
I'm a dreamer. I'm a huge dreamer. I don't, I'm the kind of person, I'll run off the cliff. Like, oh, I'm free falling. I'm excited. I'm a adrenaline junkie. So I'm a huge dreamer. I envision, because I'm also in the government, trying to get into the government contracting space. I just envision having multiple businesses where I can help others to grow, because that's my heart.
Yeah.
And so much so that was one of my New Year's resolutions, because I help a bunch of people for free. And I was like, okay, Monique, because I love to hear your dream.
Yeah.
Oh, I can help you do this. I can help you do your LLC. I can help you get certifications. I can help you. Oh, have you thought about that? I love to give people opportunities that wouldn't otherwise have been given an opportunity. So that's part of my vision. I'm just like, just a mother hen watching, oh, that one there. Oh, she's getting older. Because I know that the more I put myself out there to help, the more people will come in to help me. And that's one thing I wanted to say too. This isn't what can you do for me? What can you do for me? I'm judging you based on whether you got red bottom shoes or you got a Birkin bag, but you don't know who can help you. Stop judging people. Stop trying to tell you, stop judging people. I go into spaces and say, hey, Lord, whoever is meant for me to meet, I will meet. There's someone valuable here. I don't know who it is. And I'm nice to everybody. I don't judge based on what you have or your job title or how much business you have. No. I'm open to everybody. And when I go into a relationship, I'm there to give. And if I can receive something, great. But I meet so many people that are just like, oh, what can you get for me? What can you get? What like, no. Like, this is a two-way street.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you said you really get pure joy out of helping other people and helping them accomplish their dreams, especially, when you said you are a dreamer. There are some people who they very much want to accomplish things, but they're not dreamers. And so that vision that oftentimes comes with being a dreamer, that thinking through, possibility, like an imagination, not everyone has that. And so you have that naturally. How do you impart that to other people to help them have that growth mindset and expand their vision so that they can achieve to their full potential, whatever that may be?
So I'm sure everyone has heard that saying that you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. I've learned that the hard way. And I read Will Smith's book. It was really good. He was talking about that. Everybody's not meant to go with you on that journey. I can't drag and pull you like, come on, Cosette, come on, Cosette. There are some people who are ready, like, oof, I'm scared. I don't know what I'm doing, but count me in. And there's other people that just, they can't. And you have to let those people go. And I think being able to distinguish, like, Cosette, yeah, she's serious.
Yeah.
She's serious.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. I love that because yes, you want to help. You want to help others. You want to pour into others. You want to give back. And you also have to recognize you can't do it all. You can't,
Yes.
and some people, you're right, you have to be discerning around, is this person serious? What are they not? And be okay with walking away, letting go, whatever it is that you have to do. So,
Yeah. Because there was a point where I would carry you on my back. Like, that's okay, Cosette, I got you.
right.
I
Right.
can't do that.
And then next thing you know, you have 20 people on your back and your legs are burnt. Your legs are like, okay,
Yeah.
Monique, let's get rid of some of this weight here.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, I have so enjoyed this conversation. I have to tell you that I've enjoyed this conversation. I know you've seen the chat. I know our community has enjoyed this conversation as well. Thank you so much for being with us today. I very much appreciate you going to listen to your podcast, going to stay connected. So thank you so much, Monique. Thank you for being here. And thank you to our Intentional Conversations community. Have an amazing Friday, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.